and welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT2 TV. My name is Jangazi, and in the studio today I have two very young and talented entrepreneurs, two great people. Now, first of all, with me is an old friend of mine, Burak Doluay, and Burak was here a few years ago talking about his involvement with Rotaract, and with him is his good friend and a brand new friend of ours here as well at BRTK, Greek Cypriot entrepreneur Stephen Stavrou. So together we'll be talking about their website, which is called cyprusinno.com, and it's for everyone who wants to come together on the island of Cyprus via business, entrepreneurship. We'll tell you more on the programme today. Welcome to the show. So first of all, Burak and Stephen, welcome to the BRTK studios once again.
Thanks for having us.
Burak, let's start with you. It's been a long time since we last met, and you were here last time as a Rotaractor. Yeah. But let's find out more about you. Now, I know that you are from the Guinea area, yes? Yeah. You were born in Lefkoşa in North Cyprus, and you are part of the famous Doluay advertising agency family, and you are a businessman yourself. You're currently in Barcelona, is that right, doing your Masters?
Yeah, I'm currently in Barcelona.
Fantastic. Tell us a bit about yourself. Now, what did you study originally? What was your major?
I studied International Business Management in GAU here in Kyrenia in Cyprus. Then I did a social entrepreneurship program at University of Tennessee in Chattanooga, USA. And now I'm doing my Masters in Barcelona on digital entrepreneurship.
Amazing. So you've been around the world. Yeah. You're currently in Barcelona. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And you graduate, you finish in the summer?
Yes, this July.
And then back to Cyprus?
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Okay. And with us is a new friend introduced to us via Burak. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Now, you are a Greek Cypriot of origin, but you were born in America?
Right. I was born in New York, and my father and most of my family is from Limassol.
And your mother is from where?
She was actually born in the US, and her family is from Greece.
Right, okay. So you're also a man with business background, but tell us more. I know that you have a very interesting education. Tell us about your universities and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. So for my bachelor's, I went to school in New York and I studied biology and pre-medicine. I was into science. I got a bit of the entrepreneurial bug, so I actually transitioned into business. I did my MBA at Babson College in Massachusetts. And since then, I've been working full-time in New York City for a medical website that trains cardiologists online. And then I guess my second full-time job is working with Burak on Cyprusinno.
It's amazing because we've been speaking previously for the radio interview that we did earlier on, and off air, that just by one chance email, you met with Burak, and it's been a good partnership ever since, for just over a year now, wasn't it? Back in 2016 you met, I think.
Yep.
Okay, tell us a bit about that. So, because I know that you instigated this friendship. What was happening? You were looking online, Googling online, weren't you? For what? What happened?
Right. So I came to Cyprus in summer of 2013 to do some work here for 3 to 4 months, right in the middle of the financial crisis. And I saw kind of small businesses struggling and entrepreneurs struggling in the crisis. And I wanted to find a way to uplift startups and entrepreneurs in Cyprus. And by doing that, I was looking at startup activity in both the south and the north. I had no idea what was going on in the north, so I Googled it, and on the 8th page of Google, I found an article that was featuring Burak in a blog post that spoke about how he created the first startup group in the north on Facebook. So I sent them a quick email. We exchanged some conversations. We decided to collaborate on WhatsApp, Skype. We built the website, and then eventually we became business partners.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
It's history.
Amazing. So there you are, Burak. All of a sudden, you get a message from Stephen saying, "I found I googled you I found you on Google." What happened after that? I mean, what happened? What was the partnership then? What did Stephen want from you at the beginning?
Actually, it was he found an email of mine that was something called Fusion Business Network, that we were trying to bring people together, and he wrote me a long email about...
Very long.
You had a paper about how entrepreneurship could bring people together, and I was trying to build a startup which failed now, but that time about this, and I loved the idea, so we were both sharing the same vision, and I responded back to him, and then we were like, okay, hey, just give me your number, let's talk on WhatsApp, and we started talking on WhatsApp, and we Skyped, and then suddenly we started collaborating.
And when did you decide to come together on cyprusinno.com? Because this is relatively new. I mean, back in 2016, just over a year now, let's say, we're in the beginning of 2018 now. So What was the idea about Cyprus Inno? Who had the idea to come together to bring Turkish and Greek Cypriot entrepreneurs together? Who was the spark in this fire?
Cyprus Inno was already there. Steven started it and he was working on it. And what we did was we put our ideas together. So what I was trying to do with Fusion Business Network, and because I'm from North with my connections from North and his connections in South, we put all of them together and we built the platform together and put all of it like.
And it is a very, very interesting website. Now, there's an article that you shared with me, an article about you guys, and it says here that browsing through the website cyprusinno.com, it is hard to imagine that it is the work of just two people. Its design and breadth of ideas could easily have come from a team of 10. Yet the collaboration between Steven Stavrou and Burak Doluay has produced an elegantly crafted website which, while only in its initial stages, that was back then in 2016, has big aspirations. And I think you fulfill those aspirations now because you're still going strong together down the line. Now, Cyprus Inno is a bi-communal website in two ways, obviously between Turkish and Greek Cypriots. And the second way is that it seeks to map startups across the island, both north and south, and bring together entrepreneurs from both communities. So, okay, Steven, what was your aim with Cyprus Inno? I mean, you know, there you are in America, you're in New York, you're in the Big Apple, one of the biggest, amazing cities in the whole world. You obviously have a love of Cyprus and you want to connect everyone together. Why, you know, when you saw the bad times during the crisis and you saw people failing, was that the idea that you wanted to help people come together and support each other via business and entrepreneurship? How did this come about, Cyprus Inno?
Yeah, I think more than the struggle, I noticed even greater than that was there was so much innovation happening here. There was so many wonderful people working on such great things. And Cyprus perhaps still isn't really on the map for innovation globally. And so I think working for Burak, we saw that the best way to probably do that was to make it inclusive of both North and South Cyprus, and together, work together to uplift entrepreneurs and startups so we can put Cyprus on the global map for innovation, but to do so jointly. And that's kind of how the website came to fruition and everything else we've done since then.
So on the website, both north and south of the island, when it says mapping the startups, you can actually find out what businesses where doing what. Is that how you work? I mean, people can look on there and find out, you know, whatever they want to find out about any business they want to look up.
Yeah, it's the first map to map startups on both sides of the island to be inclusive of both sides. It's the largest of its kind. And you can go on, it's a database. You can add your own startup if you register, but you can see what type of innovation is happening all over the island. And it's quite diverse and quite impressive. When
you say startup, can you explain a bit more for those who don't really understand what a startup means?
Sure.
In terms of, you know, business?
Yeah, it's difficult to define, and everyone around the world has many different definitions. I think in the context of Cyprus, we try and keep it very open. We don't look necessarily at the size of the company or how many years, but if you're doing something innovative, if you're doing something old but in a new way, or if you're doing something completely new, we consider you an innovative business and we'd like you to be a part of the network we're building.
So it could be anyone opening up a shop or a location. It could be anyone doing something interesting on the island that wants to share their experience with other people and everything as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Burak and I had this vision at the beginning that entrepreneurship is not just tech. It's not just technology, innovation and technology. It's brick and mortar. It's retail, it's agriculture, it's sustainability and clean energy. So we're very open to what we consider a startup here on the island.
When we look at both sides, I mean, obviously, you know, the north is completely different to the south. We have, unfortunately, embargoes and stuff, so it's probably a bit more difficult to look at business here and how things are developing. But, you know, you had a good idea about business. That's why Steven found you, you know. Was it easy to do your bit of the work of trying to find out what's going on in North Cyprus?
Actually, when you go with tech-based stuff, there's no embargoes. And I think if you do what you do right, again, there's no embargoes. There are many people in the society that's selling a lot of products abroad. And it's about working hard. And if you do that, I think, yes, you can. I mean,
it is a very good idea. And I think, you know, you've both achieved a lot in the year that you've been together. Now, one thing that interests me is that among the website's features, many features, is a jobs board. Is that still going, the jobs board at the moment?
Yes.
Can people, let's say somebody, because I think you were saying before, Burak, on the radio interview, that, you know, sometimes people graduate from university and they don't have a job, or they don't know what to do or where to look. Can they come to the website and find out what's available out there for them and their skills?
Exactly, yeah. So it solves two different problems. One is that many startups are looking for qualified people to work for them, and there are people who are qualified are looking for jobs. So on that jobs board, you can see any job opportunity, or you can post it yourself. So either if you're looking for, you can register on the website and look for a job, or if you're looking for an employee, you can register totally for free, because we're a non-profit. You can go and post a job opening and people can find it, and we keep it island-wide. Since we're a really small community, you might be able to find a job in North or in South or anywhere.
Yes, that's one thing that we have to point out, is that even though you might be both living in different countries aside from Cyprus at the moment, it is all based in Cyprus. I mean, we're not going to send people off to America or England or wherever. This is for people who want to start business here, or to share their business or their experiences or skills, and the people who want to look for jobs here on the island. Is that right, Stephen?
That's
correct
correct.
me if I'm wrong.
That's correct. And the premise of the jobs board really is, it's twofold. One, we're an entrepreneurial network, and entrepreneurship is the greatest job creator in the world. And two is it helps solve a problem. Cyprus has one of the highest unemployment rates among youth in the EU. That's a common problem that Burak and I saw from both sides of the island, and that can be solved by creating a jobs network that helps employers find quality young people, and young people find opportunities on the island, so that we keep our most intelligent and talented youth here.
That's very interesting, because we never actually think about that aspect of life on Cyprus, you know, that there are people who are unemployed. It's not really a big subject that is dealt with in the media or in papers, you know, oh, big unemployment problem. But is there, I mean, when you come to the islands, because I know that you are flying off soon, I know you're back and forth here, but when you come to the island, is it noticeable in the south that there are actually people, you know, youngsters like yourselves who are unemployed? Is there a problem there?
Yeah, it's noticeable, especially our age. And it was very evident in 2013, around the time of the crisis. It's getting better, but it's still evident now. And especially, you know, you might not see it happening on the island, only because those who have studied abroad might end up staying abroad because there's greater opportunity.
Like Burak, who's gone off to America and now to Barcelona. And in the north, I mean, do we have a big unemployment problem here, do you think?
I think
Burak?
yes, yeah.
And when you look around, I mean, you're more in touch with your generation. And when you look around, do you see people saying, you know, I can't find a job, so I'm going to go and study abroad or look for employment abroad, yeah?
Yeah.
So this website, this cyprusinno.com, is actually also trying to encourage people to stay on the island.
Yeah,
both
definitely.
sides.
Absolutely.
Which is a good thing, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
You know, to keep because a lot of the problem here that I see is that youngsters like yourselves, well-educated, talented people, they leave the island for better opportunities elsewhere. And that's a sad thing, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's bad for our country because, you know, all the good, talented people go. And you know, we need them here to, you know, we need people like you here to improve the country and to lift it up. So it's a good thing that you're doing here now. And I know that another thing that is in the article about you is that aside from the jobs board, there's also challenges. And it could be that users on the side can post problems needing a solution, and thereby give an opportunity for dialogue on the topic in the hope of finding a solution. Now, is this site interactive? I mean, do you have people online quite a lot of the time? So if I write a message, do I get a response quite quickly? I mean...
Yeah. I mean, when you register, you can create your profile, like all the other social media, social networking websites, like Facebook and stuff. You can have your profile, you can put a picture, a cover picture, you can put your age, your education, everything. And you can browse other users as well. So if you enter your company and what you do, you can go and see from other users what they do and directly message them or get their email and email them, so you can interact with other users as well.
So what type of problems? I mean, it says here, you know, there might be a problem and it can be solved. I mean, is it just to do with business, or is it to do with education? Is it to do with employment? What type of problems have you experienced? I don't know who wants to answer this, but okay, Stephen, you tell us a bit about some of the questions that are being posed.
Sure. We put this together this digital platform that offers registration options, startups posted, events, jobs, and by doing so we attract all these innovators all across Cyprus. And so we thought a good way to put those great minds to use is to post challenges on the site that they may be able to solve. Some we've posted ourselves, and as you've asked, those may include common problems that are faced by both sides. So one we thought was, how do we revitalize our villages? How do we drive tourism there but preserve the culture and the history while also making it sustainable for conservation purposes and for the environment? How do we work on national health systems? I mean, all these are problems faced by both sides. So you can pose a solution, and we hope that if enough people post solutions in common, we can build teams offline and perhaps put a startup together that can help solve them. But beyond that, we allow others to submit their own challenges as well to the community.
I know that also, Burak, you were saying before that you could also offer training, for instance, or there could be like special seminars or training opportunities for people who want to learn more about business. Because it's not easy to be a businessman, is it really? We always think it is. Oh, I'll do this, I'll open up a shop, or I'll open up a business. But then a lot of businesses, I don't know what it's like in the south, but I know that in the north, after a while, they collapse if they're not, you know, properly thought out, designed, executed. Is that a problem, do you think, Burak?
It is. I mean, we have lots of replicated businesses. I mean, someone opens a restaurant and then suddenly there's 5 more next to it. And I think it's quite similar. Now everywhere is a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But in terms of like youth, like we were talking before, that they all go abroad because there are more opportunities. What we want to build is that we want to provide this education so people have enough knowledge about innovating and creating maybe scalable startups. So they might be based in Cyprus, they might sit here, but they can build an app that can worth $1 million one day or €1 million, and they can sell everywhere just by sitting in the island.
Yeah.
So that doesn't have embargoes, that doesn't have barriers, and they can work with people like we're doing from abroad as well to develop it. And our website puts all this, because when they go abroad, they said there are more opportunities. What are those? Mentoring, advising, funding. So we're putting all these things together in our website for Cypriot entrepreneurs, regardless of where they are, so they can use this to stay in this country and keep innovating and succeed from where they are, from their home.
But you can also guide people in the right direction. You can see what businesses there are out there, and you can say, well, maybe, you know, there are too many in this area of this, but go into this field, or maybe, I mean, can you give that type of advice to people? Or maybe they can see for themselves what's going on. You can look on the site and say, oh, you know, I want to do this, but it's already been done by somebody else. Or maybe you want to work with somebody across the border. Again, you can find out who's doing a similar thing to your business.
Right.
So it's very good, isn't it, to connect everyone together. How many people do you think are now, you know, looking at your site regularly, or do you have a membership? Can you count the members?
We do, yes. So when Burak and I started, we had this goal by December 2016, by the end of the year, January 2017. We wanted 100 registered members. We were very excited about reaching that. And today we're at over 1,600 members and subscribers who actively not just visit the site, but participate in some of our offline events, which we'll discuss.
That's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that's a pretty good thing in just 1 year, let's say, of working together. And I think that's amazing. So it's going to show, I mean, is it equal number of Greek and Turkish Cypriots, or is it just Cypriots? Do you have other nationalities as well?
We have others as well, yeah, and that's very symbolic of what we do. So we have others from across the world. I think in terms of the Greek Cypriot, Turkish Cypriot split, it goes pretty on par with the proportion of the populations. Because we are bizonal in nature, our platform is bizonal, it's also intercommunal. And so we don't just have Greek and Turkish Cypriot entrepreneurs and innovators being a part of it, but we have other Cyprus-based community members who come from all over the world who are based here and trying to do business here.
Interestingly, talking about outside as well, not just Cypriots, let's say somebody from a nearby country, Turkey, Greece, wants to invest in Cyprus, they can have a look again and see what's going on business-wise here. I mean, do you ever get any foreign investors looking at the site and thinking, well, you know, we'd like to invest, or do you advise them on how to invest in Cyprus?
We haven't yet fully expanded into the funding and investment part of what we want to do. We do have interested investors. We have an event coming up soon, and we have actually 2 investors flying from Turkey to attend. And so we do see interest, and we have a platform whereby they can do the research. And I think next steps for us is to really connect those investors to startups here, to give them the opportunities to fund them and for those startups to be funded.
Do you have any, I know this is a non-profit organization, do you have any support or any input from the relevant government institutions like the Chamber of Commerce or
Yes.
Chamber of Industry? Do they also know what's going on with this website?
Yeah, we have a lot of support from various embassies who support the missions and values of what we do. And as a platform and as a team that tries to encourage and build this bizonal intercommunal entrepreneurial ecosystem where both sides and all communities work together, we have a lot of partners of entrepreneurial organizations from all over the island that come together to support us. And 2 of those supporters are also the 2 chambers of commerce, who actually recently came together to support one of our upcoming business mixer events.
And you know, again, you're dealing with the North Cypriot side of the site. What's it like here? Have you had good response from the people here? Have you met with any officials to talk about this project?
No, not with any officials, but we work with people in the community. So, like, we're not like leading like a movement. We're just coordinating. And for example, we work with Gigem in Kyrenia, which is a youth development center newly established to create a curriculum to teach entrepreneurship to kids in Kyrenia for job creation and that kind of stuff. Also, we work with other partners in the south as well. And we just try to map all these people who are involved with youth, entrepreneurship, business, like the chambers of commerce or various embassies that support this kind of initiatives, and just bring them together. And that's what we do at the Mixers as well, the event that we're having soon.
Yes, when this program is aired, unfortunately, the most recent event will have happened already. I know that straight after this interview, you're going to go off to the Home Corporation near Ledger Palace checkpoint in the buffer zone. Okay, who wants to talk about the events? Because I know this is not the first one. How many events of this kind have you had so far?
So
this will be our third physical mixer where we bring people together in a venue.
And I think, did you not meet for the very first time face-to-face the day before the very first mixer that you had?
We did. So, very symbolically, we met at our own first mixer.
Yeah. Tell us about the mixers then. What happens at these mixers, Stephen?
Sure. So Burak and I spent a lot of time building this digital platform, and we saw with the numbers, the way they grew, that we needed a physical space to bring people together in the flesh. And so we decided to launch our first mixer in December of 2016 at the Home for Cooperation Cafe, where we invited entrepreneurs from all over Cyprus to come and to attend. We do icebreaker sessions, there's networking, and the goal is really to come out of there creating lasting business relations amongst entrepreneurs from either side of the island. We do raffles for resources as well, free co-working space, free mentorship. So that was our first. Backed by popular demand, we did our second in May of this year. And the first one had about 30 to 40 attendees, I would say, which we thought was great at the time. And then our second one grew to about 40 to 50. We're doing our third intercommunal mixer tonight. And we are looking at 90 to 100 participants tonight coming together from both sides of the island, all communities in the spirit of business. The model of the mixer, what it really shows and what we've been really humbled by is that Burak and I, what we've put together is also it's a peace-building mechanism. We use entrepreneurship as a peace-building mechanism here in Cyprus. And what we found from these mixers and seeing people engage with each other is that entrepreneurs are actually fantastic peacemakers because they come for their business. They care about their business, and all sorts of barriers and differences among us just don't matter. They don't matter.
Yeah. You have surprised me, Steve, because even though Burak is not here at the moment, he's in Barcelona. He has a more of a closer link to Cyprus because he'll be back here again when he graduates. But you live in America. You've been living there all your life.
Yes.
And I know that you come here regularly, but for someone in America, in New York, to care so much about his homeland of Cyprus is amazing. Obviously, you feel passionate about Cyprus,
very much
about your community. I mean, do you feel? I mean, I asked you this on the radio interview as well. Are you American? Are you Cypriot? Or are you American Cypriot or Cypriot American? How do you class yourself when you talk about, when you describe Stephen? How do you describe him?
Well, technically on both. So by citizenship on both. But I have such a connection to Cyprus, even though I've lived in New York. So I guess American Cypriot would be the proper term for that.
Yeah.
But I have, this island has such a big place in my heart. And I told you on the radio show too, I've always wished to grow up to do something that would bring me here more often, and been humbled by the experience with Burak to have the opportunity to do that with Cyprus now.
That's really good, and hopefully with this, website of yours and your mixers that are continuing this year as well, you'll be here a little bit more often than than previous years. But you're a very, very busy man. I know that you're both very busy, and he probably does take a lot of your time up. And I was amazed when you were saying because of the time differences of America and let's say Europe, there's always either one of you, always online and doing work. So when one sleeps, the other one's working. When the other one sleeps, the other guy takes over. Is that how it works between you two?
Yeah, definitely.
It's good, isn't it, Burak? Yeah. Good partnership there.
We're 24 hours open.
That's right.
There's always somebody to respond if there's an email or a message. Yeah.
So there's always somebody on there who will probably be, able to help you. Do you have? It's a lot of work. Do you have anybody else helping you at all, or is it just the both of you doing all this admin work and everything?
It's really us. Just us.
Just you two.
The bulk of it. We do have we have a lot of people who are friends with us that really help us, especially in times like tonight at our mixer. We'll have them help out with registration, taking photos, but a lot of what happens day to day is Burak and I.
Yeah. Business is a big thing, obviously it's what a lot of people on this island aspire to open their own business. It's such a great, relaxed atmosphere here. But of course, being a small Mediterranean island, it has its own problems. But do you think that the differences and the similarities bring everyone together? When you look from the outside, well, you're not living here, so you can see, are there similarities between the Turkish Cypriot entrepreneur and the Greek Cypriot entrepreneur, or are they different? What have you seen in the past year that you've been working with Burak, with the people who are on the site?
Yeah, there's great similarities. Great similarities, and there's a lot of similar innovations happening. And we imagine if we had more cooperation amongst both sides, what sort of things would come out of this island. It's pretty amazing. When you meet someone who's on paper different from you, it opens you up to a whole new world. And entrepreneurs need to be opened up to a whole new world in order for them to not just expand their mindset, but their business as well.
And today you get the chance to meet old friends and maybe newer ones as well. 90 to 100 people is a big number. That you're going to be there meeting and greeting and organising the event. This is very important to actually see face to face, meet people, and to chat with them. And as you say, give each other business cards, and it could be the start of good friendships or good business partnerships. Since the last meeting, has it been? Are these meetings, because they're so popular, are they getting better and better? Are more friendships and partnerships being formed because of these meetings? Burak, what do you think?
Yeah, when we did the first mixer, we had, like Steven said, 30 people, 40 people. But when we were planning for the second, we received an email from two guys that they met at the event and they formed a partnership, and they were inviting us to their launch event to go there and see for their cooperation. And they attended our second mixer as well, and then there were other people also. So there were people who came for the buffer zone to the first time, or met someone from the other community for the first time. So today with 100 people, we wonder how big it's going to be and how many cooperations will be formed.
Even waiting outside before this interview started, and we met another business lady out there, and again, exchanging cards. Everyone wants to promote something or to do business or to meet new people. We're all hungry for that, that exchange. Is that how you feel when you, is everyone willing? Obviously those who want to be part of a bi-communal project, they're open-minded, but is everyone willing to work with everyone else and looking to make good partnerships and friendships?
It's kind of a funny story actually. At our first mixer, we'll share this little anecdote. We keep these very informal. We don't do an agenda because we wanted to keep it networking. And especially after the first one, we didn't know what would happen. And so people started to show up. They didn't know what to do, and they almost started leaving. And so Burak and I, on a whim, we kind of said, let's do an icebreaker session. We put everyone in a circle. You have 60 seconds. Introduce yourself, what you do, what you're working on. And everyone started going out around the room, introducing themselves, and you can see kind of the sparks go off. Someone who's working in travel, listening to someone else talking about what they're doing in travel, and they know right away they want to talk to that person. So after that icebreaker, everyone just jumped up and started speaking to each other for the whole night. Even past the time the cafe closed, they were kicking us out. It was so vibrant.
We're closing now. Get out.
They were closing the shades, the doors.
The lights go off.
Yeah.
You're still talking, having a coffee. So tonight, again with this mixer, is a similar thing going to happen again? Will you be getting people to introduce themselves? Or now that you've got 90, I mean, it's going to be you probably got different groups maybe, or separate everyone up into...
We're going to try and split the room. We've been working hard trying to figure out how to do it because the icebreaker is so valuable. But with such a large group, we're not. We're probably going to split the room, but keep a similar structure.
And a lot of people probably want a bit of financial help, or I mean, how can, when you say starting up, let's say the startups that you've got, the most important thing is to keep that business going, isn't it? Is there any advice that do you give advice, or are there people who there in your group or on your website who can advise on how to spend money wisely, what to do? I mean, because it's very difficult, isn't it? To you got your idea about what you want to do, but to actually make it a reality, to keep it going. Like we said, a lot of 5 restaurants or 5 cafes open, and then at least 1 or 2 fold. I mean, is that type of advice that you can give, that your website can give, like do this or don't do this, or how to give pointers on what to do, how to survive in this market? It's very difficult, isn't it? I think to keep things going. Isn't it?
We don't give direct advice. Of course, anyone's free to reach out to us at any time, and people do because they know we've built this massive network, and so they know we can connect them to someone through the platform. But what we are doing, what we're working hard on right now, is providing entrepreneurial education. And so we're building a course that will provide basic entrepreneurial skills, starting from what is an entrepreneur and how to come up with an idea, to how to launch and scale a business. And hopefully through that course, these entrepreneurs can find the resources and tools they need to help them throughout that process and sustain.
That's very interesting. And these type of courses, I mean, will they be happening regularly, or is it once a year, or how does that mean? Now that we're at the beginning of 2018, what's coming up? I mean, will this course be available soon? Do we have any dates for this type of thing?
Yeah, I think we're hoping to launch within the next 2 or 3 months with the first course. And then we hope that's a proof of concept, so we can partner with additional organizations to launch other courses that are more specific, maybe a course specific on green technology and sustainable entrepreneurship, or one on social entrepreneurship. So we hope to expand it down the line. But the first course you'll see probably around March of 2018.
So do you also find the people who will give the courses, I mean, do you know the right contacts and who is an expert in their field of knowledge? I mean, and obviously everything is in English, isn't it? Because it's a bi-communal event. Or how does that work? I mean...
So we're partnering with some institutions in the UK to provide us education material. And we're putting all of it together. Everything will be in English in terms of courses. There will be quizzes and stuff. It will be online. It will be accessible by anybody for free, anytime, anywhere. And there will be also some information in Greek and Turkish for things like starting a company, like legal information about those will be in both languages.
So that's good to know that also, not just in English, but in the native language of Turkish and Greek, which is very, very important. I really, really do admire work. And we believe entrepreneurs are the ones who don't follow the road. They always find their own way. That's a quote from you, Burak, in the article. Is there something special about entrepreneurs? I mean, Stephen sort of touched on that point that, maybe where politicians can't really bring everyone together, entrepreneurs can. What is it, the passion? Why are entrepreneurs so special? Why this area is it so important for, for us to get together?
I think because it's to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to do everything. Like, you have to be open to doing everything. You need to have a different mindset. You have to think out of the box. And that's what exactly it is. If a guy is unemployed, he needs to bring food home. He needs to, buy medicine or whatever it is, and to live for his basic needs. He's not going to care about any political view or anything. He's just going to go and look for opportunities and try to build a life for himself. So wherever you are, and it's the same thing in the south with the guy who's suffering, that is trying to find money. They both share the same pain and same problems. So coming together and putting their skills and talents together, of course, will help both of them to have the life they want. So that removes the barrier. That removes the barriers.
It's a very interesting point, and you know, there is so much on the website. I mean, you have to go and look at it to find out more. But this is really, you know, how it's all summed up by the fact that you can strive for peace through entrepreneurship. So at the end of the day, whatever's happening on the islands, you know, we all want peace, we all want to be happy, but this is one way of bringing everyone together via a common thread of entrepreneurship. And you know, you guys have proven that just by the fact that, you know, the Turkish and the Greek Cypriot side by side together, friends via you know, the internet, from email and now Skype and whatever, now physically sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
If you guys can do it, we can all do it, can't we?
Absolutely.
And that's what the message is there, I think.
Yeah.
You've done a great job. If anyone wants to find out more, obviously go to www.cyprusinno.com. But I believe your site is also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
LinkedIn, Twitter, everything.
What do we write? To find your on social media, do we just write Cyprus Inno?
Just search Cyprus Inno and we'll come up.
And we can meet, you know, we can mail you, tweet you.
Right. You can email us at info@cyprusinno.com, and Burak and I will both get that email. We'll be able to respond.
Tonight, obviously, when this program is aired, your mixer tonight will have been over. But do you have plans? I mean, when will the next mixer be? If someone wants to meet you face to face, you guys, when do you think you'll be back on the island next, Stephen? Do you have any plans?
I think we're toying with different ideas because there's a lot of things we want to do. So we want to sit down and focus and see what the next most effective thing will be. But it'll probably be within the next few months, I would say. But stay updated with our Facebook, with our social media. We keep everyone up to date at all times on all our channels. So
whoever is a member of those sites and a member of your group, they will get all the latest news, what's going on, what's happening next. And of course, they can meet you when you have your next mixer. But it sounds like a really good thing. It makes me want to become an entrepreneur again. But, you know, or not again, but you know, to change jobs. But it's never too late to join. 1,600 people, hopefully more in this new year.
Yes.
Is there a limit? I mean, how big can this get? How can you cope with all this, Stephen, and do your normal job and your normal life?
Well, you know, one of our big goals this year, I think, is to grow our team, because we can be, as you mentioned, we're sort of an example of the model, being a bi-communal team ourselves.
Yeah.
But by employing people to help us out, we also create jobs, which is what the website aims to do. How big can this go? I think we've always had a vision that if we can prove the model here, we can take it to other conflict regions in the Eastern Mediterranean, in the greater Middle East, but also across the world. So those are big aspirations, but you know, 5-10 years down the line.
Well, who knows what will happen? I mean, you know, to me, you both look like great entrepreneurial guys. You remind me of Mark Zuckerberg, who founded Facebook all those years ago. And look what happened. You know, one little thing became a massive, you know, multi-million-dollar, billions of users around the world. So who knows what will happen to CyprusInno.com in the next few years. But good luck with your studies, with your masters in Barcelona, and hopefully see you again when you come back from your studies. And Stevie, it was a pleasure to meet you today.
Likewise.
And I wish you all the best for the future as well, for
Thank you.
Your life in the Big Apple. And I hope to see you again on the island soon. But
Likewise.
Keep us informed about what's going on. I'll try and find out. I'll try and join your pages on Facebook at least. And I look forward to seeing you again. But thank you very much for bringing everyone together on this wonderful project that you're doing, and I hope that it gets bigger and better for you and for everyone who is part of CyprusInno.com, because you're doing a great job. So well done.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And see you again soon.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you so
Thanks a
much.
lot.
Thanks for having us.
You're more than welcome. And with that, we've come to the end of the very interesting interview with Greek Cypriot entrepreneur Stephen Stavrou and Turkish Cypriot entrepreneur Burak Doluay. Two great guys. Go to CyprusInno.com to find out more. And until we meet again, have a great week. See you all soon and take care. Bye-bye.